Welcome to the Becoming Eva podcast, where we discuss real-life issues from a woman's perspective.
Becoming Eva seeks to break the silence within the female community while fostering authenticity, transparency, and healing.
We're your hosts, Latoya Moore
and Maya Dawson.
Let's get started. Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday, DE community. Woo! We have made it to season 9 finale.
So excited.
Yes. And y'all, we got an amazing special guest in the building this week. So we are so excited to dive into this one. For those of you that may not know, this is the amazing Anike, formerly known as Wande. So we got a lot to talk about. But first up, how are you ladies doing? How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good,
Yeah.
Productive day, relaxing at the same time.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
Productive and relaxing. I need that.
Rare.
Yeah, I need that.
I'm ready to unplug.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time.
It is time. I'm
Yes.
counting down. Next
Yes.
week, I have a conference
Ooh.
with our executive director, and then finally Thanksgiving break. So get a week off. Yes, I cannot wait.
It's coming, y'all. It's coming. I can't believe the holidays are literally
That came
right here.
so fast.
Very,
Yeah.
very. So 2024 is coming to a wrap. Okay, if you're watching this live, we are counting down the weeks. So make sure y'all finish strong. That's all I'm gonna say. Finish strong. If that means resting and making sure that you enter 2025 sane, then rest. If that means you got a couple more things you need to check off your list and, be intentional about it, but make sure that you are, finishing strong. So, but without further ado, we're going to dive on in. So,
Yes.
you want to read? Yeah, we'll introduce ourselves.
Yes, so I have the pleasure of introducing Anike.
Yes.
So discover the groundbreaking sound and influence of Anike, a true trailblazer in Christian music. Recognized as the first female rapper to achieve major commercial success, Anike has left an indelible mark on the industry. As the initial Christian rapper to tour alongside icons like Lecrae and having collaborated with artists such as Toby Mac, she's a pioneer with a unique blend of hip-hop, R&B, and pop. Her historic journey includes being the first female artist signed to Reach Records, a powerhouse indie label that birthed Christian hip-hop legends. Anike's accolades extend to features on Grammy-nominated projects, the Billboard #1 album, The Mad Way, and recognition by leaders such as Michelle Obama and Kirk Franklin on the Public Inspiration playlist. Beyond streaming, Anike showcases her versatility with features in ESPN and Apple commercials, and she's graced stages like Essence Festival. We were there. That was awesome. On the TV show Girl Talk on TBN, she reflects her commitment to empowering women in their spiritual journey. Anike's influence transcends music as she uses her platform for fresh perspectives on faith through engaging live talks and comedic content. Videos like Hallelujah Roll Call have amassed millions of views, showcasing her ability to connect in meaningful and entertaining ways. With millions of annual streams on Spotify alone, her dynamic and empowering catalog continues to inspire. Meet Anike, a true visionary shaping the future of Christians engaging culture. So we are so excited to have Anike here.
That's a mouthful. How do you feel listening to that?
No, it's listening. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. Oh yeah, that So it just is an honor, honestly, to be used as a vessel for God. Because as I recount all those things, I'm like, wow, that is true. It's true. Oh, that is true. And so it's really just cool, to get to experience it. Yeah.
That's dope. God is faithful.
Yes, we're so excited.
Yes.
Last time we saw you, I believe, was Essence Festival.
Yes.
Was that last summer?
Or 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
2023.
We have a segment called What Had Happened Was.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we talk a little bit about when we may have first met you or passed cross, which you may or may not remember, which is perfectly fine. We just like to explain stories and be like, well, this is what had happened. So, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit, and I cannot remember what year this was. This had to have been either right before or right after you signed to Reach, because you were on staff with Reach right before. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is when you were on staff, and I was sitting in. You were being interviewed on Track Stars. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in on the show, and you just came in like this light, just bubbly, just energized person, and I was like, who is this? But you were so polite to everybody. You're like, hi, how are you doing? And I was just sitting there like, I'm good. I don't know you, but I'm good. And you like literally just lit up the room. And it's amazing because shortly thereafter, you were everywhere. You like blew up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the girl that I was just talking to. But I just love your authenticity and your humility. So I was like, that's amazing. And then I would say the second time that our paths crossed was when what Latoya was talking about was when you were at Essence Fest last year. So we were there repping and trying to, just get our name out there as far as becoming Eva. And so we saw you actually walking around. We were like, oh, can we get a picture? But you killed it. You killed it on stage with Erica Campbell and D1. Like, it was an amazing performance. So we were just excited to see you on the stage, like, repping the Kingdom of God.
Yes.
So that's what happened.
Yes. And I remember the audience. I felt like the audience was a little stiff, but we were jamming with you back there. They were a little stiff. I was like, why are they so stiff? They were, but I remember a birthday party. I think I went to your birthday party, and I think your hubby gave you some pink shoes. I think I was there. I think Track Stars was like doing a live radio show or something, but I remember the birthday party. Yes.
Wow, fun times. Yeah, I actually remember like coming down here for Track Stars too. Yeah, so I think I was a fan, so I was just like, oh wow, I get to be on Track Stars. So, yeah, so I was just happy to be here, just living life. So.
I love it. It's been amazing to just watch the glow up and how you have just remained steady and grounded in the midst of all of it. Like you were saying, you just a vessel, but it's been amazing how God has been able to use you as a vessel to just like reach masses. So we're gonna get into it. I'm excited.
Yes, I love the origin story and like the backstory of hearing artists share things like, can you share with us a little bit about what it was like growing up in your family, your childhood, and you can kind of transition us through how you met your husband and different things like that.
Yeah. So growing up, I mean, life was like nice in terms of like I had nice parents, and I feel like now as an adult, I realized how good of a job they did at like not making me realize like, oh, we didn't have that much money. So I would say like they did a good job of like just, restraining themselves from overspending and just being like, hey man, the money is going towards groceries and cable and the light bill and all that stuff. So I'm really grateful to my parents for like just like caring a lot about us, and just like trying to help us have the best opportunities possible, like with whatever they have. So I would say that was like kind of that experience. But then like on the religion side, it was definitely interesting because like my father is a Muslim and like 90% of my family, and then my mom is a Christian. So growing up, I didn't really understand faith all the way. I thought, oh, you can do whatever you want and like live your life. Until like basically I got older. So in middle school, I feel like the Lord started to actually like speak to me. So luckily we were allowed to go to the church with my mom. So the Sunday school, like those things started like actually ministering to me. And the Lord actually did it first through music, ironically. So through music, he just like was telling me like, hey, he started showing me that this music that is in the world ain't the best. So at that time, it was like Lil Wayne, Young Money, all that stuff was popular, and so I got convicted of like, man, you switch this up. So I looked at like Christian remixes on YouTube, and there are actually people who are doing them, and they're pretty good. So that was like level one. So back then you had the MP3 player, iPod, you had to like manually put them on there. So I manually put the Christian remixes on my thing, and that's what I was listening to. But then like maybe J2, I actually found actual Christian rappers. So then I found like Lecrae and Triple E. And so Lecrae had a song called Praying For You at that time. And so, it really like it was really convicting, like his message, and so I really like was inspired by it, and so I got really into 116 and like just even like everything they had at the time, like Rapzilla, all that stuff. So I really got into like Christian rap because I was like, oh, finally like real Christian music that's like rap, like that I can listen to and like replace what I was listening to. And so I became a fan, and from there they really influenced me. And then I found out they were coming to Texas, and so it's so funny. They're coming to this camp that my church would go to, a summer camp. But ironically, I was never allowed to go to summer camp. So my dad would allow us to go to like Sunday. Anything beyond that, he was like, "Hey, that's much." So my mom was like, "Hey, you're a bold kid, so you can convince your dad to let you go to summer camp. That's on you." But she's like, "I don't know beef with my parents," so she was kind of like, "You know, that's on you." So you know, being a little spunky kid I was like, "Oh, hey, Dad, you know, for teenagers, this camp has an internship. You know, it's great for college." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And I was like, "Yeah, he signs for something." He was like,
"You gotta do what you gotta do."
He was like, yeah, whatever. So, and then I was going with my friend too. So, my uncle from church, he took me and my friend to the teen camp to be interns, and so we served. So when you're an intern, you serve. So you serve the younger kids and stuff like that, and so you have a job. Like it's crazy, but it was really beautiful because during that time serving, it's a week long. I ended up getting saved on day 3 and give my life to Jesus for real, for real. So I think before it was conviction and like, oh, I want to be a better person, but then that was like, nah, like understanding the gospel, giving my life to Jesus, and then Lecrae and them actually come on like on day 5 of the camp. And it's so funny because I don't even know I can rap at this time. I'm just like a fan.
Wow.
And it's funny because I wanted to meet them and I didn't get to meet them because my friends who were serving with me, they were like, "Oh, this line is super long. Let's go on the go-karts and come back." So we go on the go-karts, come back, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, the line is closed." So they're like, you can look at them, but you can't talk to them.
Oh no.
And so we just had to like watch other people in line, like get to meet them and stuff. And I was like, and they were like, "I'm so sorry. I know that's why you want to go to camp." Yeah. And so, but it's funny how like God like foreshadows it full circle. And so fast forward from that camp, my life has changed, transformed. I go back home, I'm like, "Yo, Dad, man, I encountered Jesus. Like, you gotta know about this. This is crazy. Like, changed my life." And then I even saw people get healed. Like, people who I was on the go-karts with broke their legs. I saw God heal their legs. They're jumping and worshiping. It's crazy. So I'm like, "Dad, you gotta see this. This is crazy." And then he was like, "No, I'm being brainwashed. Like, it's not real." He's like, "Oh man, I didn't want you to go to summer camp. I didn't know it was like a stage camp. I thought it was just like education."
You tricked me.
And so then he was just like, "Oh no, I don't want you to go to church anymore." So actually, I wasn't allowed to go to church anymore for like a minute. And so one thing's really cool. My mom was a really good advocate, so like she like used her wisdom and then like advocated for me as well. So after like maybe like 6 weeks of like not being able to go to church, then I just started going with her. But she was a nurse, so we go every other week. But then on the weekends that she was working, because when you first get saved, you just want to know, like, you want to know more and learn more. So she actually took me to work with her, and so I would go to work with her like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then my uncle would pick me up, take me to church, so that way I could learn more and like understand the gospel better. And it was just crazy. Like that was kind of like how that journey started, and so from there I just was really dedicated to like living for Jesus. Like at school, that's what I was known for, talking about Jesus. Telling other kids about Jesus. Luckily, the Lord, like, I prayed for like friends who, loved Him, and He sent me them like after like a year, and so they were super supportive too. And so we would just go around telling people about Jesus. Like I've seen a Bible study that we were able to like be a part of and start with like 5 kids in the kitchen, and it blew up to like 300 kids in like the whole school. Like it's crazy. And even like the principal was like, "You know what? I don't know what y'all doing. Like, here's a student activity fund. Here's money. Like, what if y'all need pizza? Here's pizza. If y'all need t-shirts, just keep the kids doing it." Because we were known as like the school that people got stabbed at, people got shot at. But then after that, like it transformed, and we were known as like a quality school. And so he was like, "Yeah, keep doing that." And so it's beautiful. Like, it felt like being a disciple. I was like, "Oh, so it's like being a disciple." Like,
it is.
So it was really beautiful, and like that was like kind of like my encounter. And then along that journey of high school, God shows me I can rap in the middle of that. And so then I just started saying like, "Okay, man, since I'm getting all this attention from rapping, let me just tell you about Jesus while rapping." And so that's kind of like how that journey started. And one day I did like a talent show, and I just saw the room explode, and I feel like the Lord was like, "I want you to use this like beyond just the cafeteria, but I want you to use this to like really empower my children, inspire my children, like inspire them to come follow me." And I was like, at first I actually was afraid. because I'm Nigerian as well, fun fact. And so in Nigerian culture, they want you to be a doctor or a lawyer. But I was like, I would try, but I was like, God, I don't know, because like my whole life was built up to like go to medical school. I was like in the health science academy in my like high school, and even my teachers were like, "Oh yeah, you excited to like be a biology major?" And I'm like, God's like,
Not really.
how did you? But he actually showed me in a dream, like, hey, if you don't do this, it's gonna get done. So you want to be a part of my plan or not? And so after that, I woke up and I was like, Lord, I'm gonna follow you. And so I became bold after that, and I was dedicated to the mission. So fast forward to college, I became a communication major, and just doing that. I also like jobs, interviewing people, interviewing artists, while doing the artist thing like on the side. And I do an internship at Reach my junior year. I thought I was gonna get signed immediately. That didn't happen.
You don't know who this is, Craig? You don't know who this is?
Yeah, so I come back home after my junior year, but they actually offered me a job. And so I finished my senior year. They offered me a job. So immediately after graduating, I worked there. 6 months working there. So every day I'm like, oh, I don't know. And so I actually ended up dating Darius in college, my husband. And so I'm calling him after I graduated, like, I feel like God told me to be a rapper, but they have me working for rappers, but and I'm just so confused. Like I was, and so, but yeah, like it's really cool because now I can reflect and I can see that God was using that to refine my character to teach me about the music business, and so it was a blessing in disguise. And so 6 months into working there, I get offered a contract, and then I encountered you probably around month 6, who knows? And then that's like when things changed. So after I got offered the contract, we negotiated for like a couple months, and then 2019 I officially joined and became a part and started my journey professionally, like rapping. And so
I have to ask, since your dad was hesitant with you even, being a Christian and being saved and going to teen camp, how did he take the news of you being a Christian hip hop artist?
I think it's just kind of like, so one thing, it's so funny. So I got my hair done. It's so funny. I'm gonna show you how it relates. I got my hair done actually recently for like the Double Awards, and the ladies there, I was at this African shop, and they were playing with me, bro. Like everybody was fighting over, like, oh man, I'm too tired. I don't want to do your hair. Oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to do your hair. And like I couldn't fight because it's not my shop, so I just had to sit there. And I was like, Jesus, please have someone help me because I had to do a Double Awards. I need my hair done, bro. Like
they really playing with you like that?
But then this lady texted me at the end because someone actually does my hair at the very end after like sitting there for 5 hours. And she was like, you're the most resilient person I ever met in my life. And she was like, you know what? I guess I paid off being resilient for you. But I would say that's kind of like my father. Wow. I'm like, I guess it's a gift of just being resilient and like adamant, like, nah, we're going to do this to where he just was like observing, like, this girl is not going to take no for an answer, bro. Like, and so, yeah, she's like, she just really believes about the Jesus thing. So all he just did was observe, but I think consistency too. Because like I used to get made fun of though by my siblings, like, oh, you about Jesus now, you don't want to listen to music no more.
Wow.
Oh, like you want me to turn off the music in my car now, like so. Yeah, because I remember at first I graduated out of mature, but I remember at first I used to like cover my ears and like, my brother this is like crazy.
Hey, ain't nothing.
How many siblings do you have?
I had like 4 older siblings. So
okay,
baby.
Yeah. Oh man, they probably teased her real hard too, because she's the baby.
Yeah, but yeah, he just observed like she's not backing down about this Jesus stuff, man. Wow. So after a while, it was a joke, but then he used to be like, once I got older, be like, oh, Sunday you gonna go to church now? Like, yeah, and so well, it's cool because now, as an adult, I can have like faith conversations with him. So I've actually been asking him more about his life story, and I feel like now having those conversations about like his life story has given me more insight into like why he believes what he believes or like where things came. So now it's just like kind of just ministering, evangelizing, doing life, loving people properly. Yeah, and so from there, whatever the Lord wants to do. So
is it just you and your mom that are the Christians in the family?
Yeah, pretty much. So I would say everybody else is a lifestyle Christian, but not actually saved. And so, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then everybody else beyond like, so my siblings are lifestyle Christians, and then everybody else, like uncles and stuff, are pretty much like Muslim, pretty much. So
wow,
yeah,
that's such an interesting dynamic. But for you to like stand your ground, it's like honestly, like you were a part of the persecuted church, like in the United States, like you like trying to get into services and learn the word, however you can, and at the same time being persecuted, honestly, in your own family. So that's amazing. But at the same time, I feel like that's one of the reasons why God was able to move so powerfully, because like the desperation was there. Like he was like, oh, I can use this. Like you need me. You reaching out to me. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel like the music was important too, because I mean, back then, it's so funny. You know, we love Lecrae do all his era stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, he was in his era of like, send me, I'll go. It's like, yeah, God send me, I'll go. And so I feel like that even encouraged me as well, like to not, even if I was being persecuted, especially because the unashamed movement. Just to be unashamed and be like, you know, I'm unashamed of the gospel, and like that even helped me to have more confidence, like even in my home and stuff, or like getting punished. So I have my headphones. Be unashamed of the gospel. Love your parents. And so those different things actually really just helped me, like legitimately, because it's like ain't nobody who I know my age for real, like trying to love God for real. Besides, like whenever I met my friends a year later, so all I had was my Bible, that music, and then the times I could go to church maybe once, or you know. So,
but you know them. That's how you know them. Now, I have to ask about this whole full circle thing with Lecrae here. Now, when you first started interning, I'm not even gonna say when you started working there and became an artist, but when you first started interning at Reach, I mean, like you said, this is somebody that has impacted your walk as a Christian, and you know, you were trying to meet them or see them at the camp and everything. Like, did you have moments when you were enamored, like, oh my gosh, like,
oh yeah. I remember like whenever, like, cause we were working on the opposite side. I remember whenever he would come over and maybe have a conversation. I remember then I would go over after he was gone. I would like go to the front and be like, ah. I probably call it Dennis and be like, oh my gosh, it's been Lecrae, this is crazy. Because me and Darius would like go to concerts and like we would wait outside. Like we would show, we're the type of people who would show early to meet them or wait after. Like I know after an Andy concert one time we waited like 2 hours, like, oh maybe he'll come outside and we could talk to him. Yeah, but he didn't come outside.
We were just waiting.
But like no, so it was actually kind of surreal though. It's like crazy of like, man, that's crazy. And so even now having an actual relationship is just like it's just crazy. It's insane.
That's amazing.
Now, have you talked to Lecrae and like told him the backstory?
And what's one thing that's crazy, him and all of 116, because they were there at that camp, like I said, they actually legitimately remember that camp. And they were like, no, we remember that camp, because what they used to do is say like, say somebody would reach out and be like, oh, we want to book Lecrae, and then they'd be like, hey, we want to do a tour, so you know, if you book all of us, you can book all of us for the price of one or for the price of two. And they'd be like, oh, it's a good deal. Here you go. Oh, y'all can come. And so they're like, no, remember that, because that was one of our first times touring together. And yeah, they're like, they really remember. And so it's really cool even how they can remember a camp from 20 years ago, not knowing, oh wow, you still to see your faithfulness influence a child to come to that camp, get saved. You didn't even know that child 20 years
and then
later.
how you're influencing people.
Talk about legacy.
Yeah. So it's really beautiful. It's even a testimony to like all of us to like give your yes, because you really just don't know what's behind that yes, like a ripple effect. And so it's really beautiful.
Oh gosh, that's amazing. I feel like I'm ready to get into becoming, but you tell me to anything else for the organization.
Let's go ahead and transition to becoming. Can you share what led to the change of your name from Wande to Anike?
Yes, so what led to that change? So ironically, so earlier this year we were going on a tour, and like my schedule was busy with that. And you know how sometimes you talk to God, you're like, yeah, man, God, I'm never gonna forget you. Like I'm be with you, you bless me. But you know, this year I'm pretty busy, man. And so the tour ended up getting canceled. And so whenever it got canceled, I had a lot of free time on my hands. So it's like, well, I have blocked out everything, moved everything outside of those months. And so whenever things got moved, the Lord, he was like, oh yeah, perfect. Now we have time. Let's talk, let's consult. And he actually reminded me of my name. And so the origins of my name, originally Wande, the full name was Ye Wande. Ye means the mother, Wa means of ours, and then De means has arrived. So Ye Wande, the mother, has came back. And so at first it's like, oh, this sounds like a, you know, African type name. But it really means like reincarnation. And it's like basically my name was like embracing, oh, reincarnation, all this stuff. And of course I love Jesus, and I'm like anti that. I'm like, absolutely not. No, and so the Lord just reminded me like, hey, remember your own name, remember all that. And yeah, I just whenever you're so busy, you're not thinking about that. And I had that name since literally I was a child. So as a child, I got saved as a child. You can't change your name when you're a minor. So yeah, he just brought it back and he was like, hey, I want you to change your name. I want you to have a new name. It led me to pray with my mom even too, and so she gave me some other names. And so that basically is what led to me. He said, I want you to change it. And I heard him say, like, you know, you're going to go by Anike. And we just gonna go. And I was like,
So your parents were accepting of the name
so
change?
yeah, they actually. So once again, with the whole knowing your child, it's so funny because I would expect like resistance, but when I told them, they're just like, "All right," and they respected it. I think it's kind of one of the things where you just kind of don't know what to say, but then they just like I feel like they just respect me and respect like how I honor the Lord and like how I live for the Lord. So they're just like, "Hey, you know, sounds like something you would do." So it's like, "All right."
Okay, let's talk about these 6 months that you was consulting with the Lord, because you was blowing up social media during that time. Like that's when you was going in on sororities, fraternities. You was going in on weaves and wigs. You was going in. So I'm like,
I think I missed the weaves and wigs.
there was a lot of consulting.
What was
going
the wigs and weaves?
Yeah. So basically, it was just kind of like I was basically just me and God talking a lot. But the weeds and wigs thing was like just kind of like having a life epiphany of like, oh, like which also I had my full circle because I did a full circle research for the Bible. But at that time, the first initial bullet point was like, oh, there's women in certain countries, depending on where you get your weed from, where they donate their hair because they want to donate it to like an idol, and they're like, oh, I'm doing this to honor the idol or whatever, and so they shave their hair like for spiritual practices. But then in the temple, some people are like, hey man, I don't care about the idol. So then they're like, hey, America, you trying to buy this hair? And they're like, here you go. And then they just sell the hair because they have so much hair because all these women are like doing it for spiritual practices. And so then just kind of asking the question of like, well, one, I was asking people to like pray. I was like, hey, make sure you pray over your hair because you don't know what anyone did or the person was tricked into doing it, or like even to the poverty of like, oh, like I don't want to cut my hair, but what's so poor? Like, so even just the desperation. So I was just telling people like, hey, you should probably pray or put it on your head because you don't know like what that person went through. Especially like if you're like, oh yeah, I want the real version, like
the human hair.
It could be a cult.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. So I was just like prompting people to pray over their hair and stuff like that. So that was that, and then. Yeah, it's like going on the hair journey too. All of us, like, you know, make sure you love yourself, all that stuff. And then my full circle moment though was because the Bible does talk about Paul, and he basically addressed it with like, oh, like he was talking about can we eat the meat? Yeah, that's sacrificed to idols in the temple. So the answer that Paul gave was like yes, but only if you truly believe there's nothing wrong with it. So if you're truly believing your conscience is clear, like, nah, I really think it's fine, then you can do it. But if you're like, if you just because of how you were raised. Like, if you just can't shake it, you're like, nah, it's wrong, then you shouldn't do it. And then if you're in close proximity to someone who was raised like that, and them seeing you makes them just feel like saddened and depressed, and like, oh no, like this is so wrong, then it says that you should abstain for the sake of your brother, so that way they don't stumble. Because then them watching you might be like, oh, well, she did it, so that's fine, and then you'll cause them trouble. So that was the full circle.
That's huge. Where have you landed in that process?
So yes. So where I landed was I tried as much as possible to like take care of my hair, keep it healthy, all that stuff. But I think also the Lord, it's ironic, this week, right? So I was taking care of my hair or whatever, and then ironically it was taking too much time because like right now I'm in a journey of figuring out because the video was real. And so the Lord was like, okay, this is taking too much time now, so where now you can't do what I want you to do. So he's like, you can wear the wig, it's okay. Like, I need to wear the wig until you can figure out how to take care of your hair. And then once you figure it out, then go back. So I think he's like, I see your heart, I see that you want to, he's like, don't let your hair become like now too many hours. Now you can't do what I'm telling you to do. So yeah.
Wow. I love you literally are consulting the Lord like step by step by step.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you were blowing it up. Like you were literally, I felt like every other week people were like going in on something you said on social media. So I had to ask, like, I mean, especially you stepped on toes with that. I'm sure
the sorority. I remember that one.
On toes with that. How did you respond? How did you handle that? Because I mean, like, honestly, you were like literally calling out people's idols.
Yeah.
So I know people were defensive. I know people had something to say, and and it was them hearing from you, Anike, like the person, versus just, oh, I rock with Anike, I love her music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how did you handle all of that?
Yeah, I think so. The sorority one, I'm not gonna lie, that was intense. So because I got calls from personal people, and so I know like there's with me. So some people were very aggravated, but one thing that was cool was like I had just got through a season of like learning not to be offended. So with because I know someone would have been like, oh my gosh, but because of that, while I was hearing yelling or whatever, I could hear people yelling of like, no, we love you. And so the main thing I heard was, I love you and I care about you. I look up to you so much. And so ironically, the people who came at me weren't saying I was wrong. What they said was, "Why didn't you minister to me first?" So a lot of people called me and said like, "Oh, like I saw you minister on the internet, but like if you truly believe it, why didn't you minister to me?"
Or like come to you directly.
Like
Come to them
directly.
directly.
Yeah, so they were like, "Why didn't you minister to us first?" So like I hear both sides. So it was kind of a challenge in terms of like, you gotta pick up the phone sometimes, call people, but also at the same time recognize like if I haven't talked to you in like 2 years or something like that, and we don't engage, then like, and God tells me to do a word, I also have to be obedient to like what God told me to do. It's kind of like a music. It's like, oh, like why didn't you send me the song personally? Like why'd you post it on the internet? It's like I had to look at the songs. So yeah, I think it was just like a challenge on both ends. I think I hear what they're saying, I respect that, and so it challenged me to like whoever the Lord is calling me to in this season of like my siblings, all that stuff, like make intentional time to call them, which also means that you can't be on social media all day because you can't have time to call people if you're on social media all day. But at the same time as well, like be obedient to like what he's telling me to do. So I had some hard conversations, but they also were like, no, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I wish it would have came from you at first and whatever. And then I also kind of realized different things I was like uh navigating. I like posted the whole testimony video, so I posted everything I was navigating. But I know like they were like, oh, I think I asked you 2 years ago, and then you said, oh, I think it's just amazing, not everyone. But then they were like, now you say your stance is that you think it's across the board. And so I feel like, I mean, I was young, I was like super young, so I was like, hey man, I'm just navigating, I'm maturing over time, and so yeah, I think it's like a relationship thing. But I appreciate being generous. I feel like it helps you grow. I feel like it helps you develop and stuff like that.
That was huge. Kudos to you
For being fearless and just putting it out there.
Standing on it. And I would say even too in the midst of like, because I know you like posted, if I recall, like a series of videos because you were like actively responding to the feedback and the concerns that you were giving. And so I could sense your heart from it where you were like, I'm not trying to offend, I'm not trying to judge, but like this is what the word of God says, this is the personal revelation I've gotten, and this is the truth and love. So I commend you because,
and I think it served its purpose because if they had to think about it, and really investigate their heart and do their own research, then I think it served its purpose.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so the name change. Tell us, did that inspire? Because your new album is self-titled, right? I don't even know what they call them. Albums, but your new project is self-titled. So can you talk a little bit about what this project is like, what we can expect from it, and basically how it connects to just this whole journey that you've been on, really?
So the whole album is basically about breakthrough. So ironically, I was gonna call it Breakthrough, and then whenever the Lord told me to change my name, it just made sense of like, oh, this is the name of the album again. But yeah, like it's just showing you everything that the Lord taught me about like forgiving people, loving people, being fearless. If He tells you to move, just different things like that. And just different things He walked me through. Like I literally like fasted through the process of making the album because I was like, man, I can't play around. I gotta focus. I was like I really wanted to be whatever the Lord wants me to say on songs. It's not about me. I don't want no. Just anything distraction. I really just wanted to like really touch people's lives, and so man, it really was like serious. I was working on it, and it also was like seriousness to get it done because like, hey man, you can't eat, so you gotta finish the album. So but yeah, I'm really grateful that we're able to get it done. I think it was really beautiful. I think it really affected lives even with the people on the label. So even the label, the marketing team, them seeing that 6-month life transformation, even them were touched like, man, I'm seeing the Lord working in you in real time. They're like, man, nah, this is real. And so one thing that's cool, it made them go harder with marketing because they're like, nah, this is like not fake, this is real. And like all of us even had hard conversations and challenged each other too on like, what does love mean? How do you run a Christian business? What does Christian business look like? Is it fair? Is it not fair? And so it's cool. Like we had a lot of hard conversations, a lot of repentance. But it's beautiful too because it's refined all of us to like a higher standard and like truly loving each other, truly supporting each other, honoring each other, like on paper, different things like that. And so, but it's been a beautiful process. I feel like the Lord used me, which is so funny because I feel like now I'm hearing back even like what you're saying about like, oh yeah, how the Lord used to call certain things. I'm like, dang, a lot of things are kind of like aligned with like being prophetic and like being prophetic, like how the Lord told you to call certain things out and like change things. But it's cool, like the Lord just kind of brought me through that season throughout the album. But yeah, the album will bring you through breakthrough and encourage you to be bold and encourage you to surrender just to what the Lord's will is for your life.
That's amazing.
Amazing. So, I'm not sure about the years, how long you've been in the music industry, but since your time in the music industry, what would you say have been your major challenges and how have you overcame those challenges?
Yeah, challenges. I think the challenges are not looking left and right. I think especially with social media, like the Lord can tell you to make a song and you can love it, but then also you see people over here doing this and they're blowing up and going viral, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I did the wrong thing, maybe I need to do that. Oh, this person now is doing this and they're making money. Oh, maybe I need to do that. So I think one challenge has been like literally just focusing and being content with like this is how God made me, my voice, this is the type of song He told me to make at this time, and like being content with that. I think other challenges too, like just navigating being a woman. I think that's one thing. Like when you just navigate through seasons, like especially outreach and stuff, and like just with like men in the industry, because there is a level of camaraderie of like that a man will have with a man. Of like, oh yeah, we just pull each other to men and like just make songs all day. But I can't just be doing that, you know. I can't just be like, I can't be having sleepovers and stuff like that. So I think that was a challenge in terms of like learning how to be cordial, but still develop like a decent relationship to like still collab with like your fellow artists and stuff like that. Because I don't know, I'm extroverted and introverted at the same time. So like it's like sometimes I'm like if I don't feel like like completely welcome, sometimes I'll just be like just reserved to myself. Like you need to talk like as an artist and stuff. So I think just navigating relationships and stuff like that, because you need to form relationships. You want to start collaborating with people. And like what other challenges? I think also womanhood, like you know, just growing up as a woman, like while being on social media, while doing that, because as an artist, like you can't be showing up looking crazy. So I think that's been a challenge of like navigating that, because I had to learn how to do makeup, different things like that. Because like you know, the budgets weren't always there.
Yeah.
So you have to figure it out. Yeah. Sometimes you know it's not advisable to spend money on that. And so I think just like learning how to like dress myself, you know, look nice, look presentable, all that stuff, like, you know, publicly facing and stuff. So I feel like those are some of the challenges I like went through.
I mean, honestly, you really seem gifted in that area. Like you have a sense of style that is like uniquely your own. So I'm like, that wasn't always like you. You know what I mean?
I think it was me, but it had to get refined.
Got it.
I think when I look back at videos like 4 years ago, I know I do my makeup. And I look back and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you did. Yeah. So my team members sometimes be like, yeah, you should hire somebody. I'm good. And they're like, yeah, you should hire somebody. Yeah. So I think over time, I was able to like just refine it and stuff like that.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've been blazing a trail, honestly, for as long as I've known of you as an artist. I mean, like literally, you talk about being challenged with not looking to your left or to your right, but like where God is taking you, I feel like it has really worked to your benefit, because you are like leading when it comes to not only women in, not just even in CHH, but just in the industry, but then also like sonically. Like sonically, you are making music that is unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first heard Blessed, I was like, wait a minute. Why do I feel like I need to be in a club right now?
It's fun music.
It's so dope. Like so dope. And even just like the visuals behind it, you know, the videos, all of that. Like even, you know, Holy Girl Summer, like the Don't Worry About It.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Friend of the family.
Portia. Shout out Portia.
Portia was our first in studio guest. All to say, like, y'all have literally like been leading the way. So I guess my question is, when it comes to like blazing a trail, even with what you just did with the Dove Awards, first Christian hip hop female to perform main stage, like, what is that like? Because you're not necessarily following in anyone's footsteps. So is it scary? Is it lonely? Is it like, what is that? Is it exciting? Like what is that? You know what I mean?
I think so. It's one, a blessing, so it's a lot of fun. I think two, it's like the result of staying faithful and being prepared. So I would say the only con is like I don't use the term pressure, but you have to be prepared.
Yeah.
So like I think the Lord reminds me often of like taking things seriously because whenever you slack, He can set something your way, but if you're not prepared, then you miss
so
it.
good.
So sometimes you're like, oh God, why am I not where I'm supposed to be? It's like, well, I sent you an opportunity, but you weren't ready. And so I think I definitely noticed that like for instance like Devil Awards, like we kind of got hit last minute, and then we were out of the country. So if we didn't have systems prepared, there's no way we could have made that work. So like prior preparation of like having a musical director, me understanding musical systems, me understanding how to edit videos, me having a choreographer and her being prepared and knowing how to facilitate people, all that stuff helped us be ready so that whenever they hit us up, I had reliable people who I could say, Deja, get the choreography popping. I can do it, plug and be like, all right, help make the live mix of this, and then I worked on like a visual for it. And then when we can all communicate virtually, I can rehearse while she's rehearsing with the dancers in Atlanta. I'm in like Germany, learning the dances. So it's like a lot of preparation because you can't want to give up. Like technically, I'm on vacation, so I could have been tired, like whatever. I want to do it or it's too much work. And so I think the Lord just showed me like you have to be prepared, and just showed me like the fruit of continuing to walk in the steps He has for you. Because if you divert, like if I divert, it's like, oh, I'm going to do secular route now, then I would have never known that, there might have been a time where the devil would have let me perform or like different things. So I think just the more you continue to walk in the path that He has for you, I'm starting to notice that He is faithful and like He will make a way. So, but you can't experience it if you divert. So you have to stay on the path, and then you just have to continue just the preparation of what you have. So for me, that's like, okay, stay decently healthy so you can not be out of breath, continue writing the songs, and just continue being a kind person, showing up, trying to have systems for the company, and whenever we have opportunities, then we just kind of use them to the best of our abilities. So yeah,
that's so good.
And what has it been like being in the music industry with a spouse? Because that's such a blessing at your age. The single game out there is rough. It's rough. But you are blessed to be married. So what is that like on this journey?
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. I'm definitely am blessed. I am grateful. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like it's definitely great having like your best friend with you, and I'm so glad because even now he's my manager, and so even that's even better because like, hey, I know you have my best interest at heart. Like we together, like so this is your family too. So I think it's just definitely a beautiful thing, just having someone who loves you, who cares for you, always there, being the travel. I like having people who are masculine. I like the Bible, how it talks about authority. So I think that's a beautiful thing in terms of like I can go someone and be like, yeah, there's a man here, so don't act crazy. So I also appreciate that as well. But I just think it's a beautiful thing.
That is, you're covering in your home, but like in your day-to-day work, your ministry.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I do have to ask, we were talking a little bit about this behind the scenes, but how do y'all balance like the business with the personal? Like, like you said, you're on vacation, you get a call for the Devil Awards. You know what I mean? Was it like was there any like tough conversations where it's like, okay, really, you're gonna do this on vacation, or like, how do y'all navigate that?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely like tough conversations of like, especially with that. I think that's the cool thing too of like having a spouse who understands like I guess God's calling in your life. So it was kind of like but at the same time it's like no, I really understand like God wants to use you to do this, so it's okay, and then we'll figure out a part two.
Amen. There you go.
So, but I think for the most part, we just try to navigate like so for instance, we tried after 6. Not working.
That's good.
Well, obviously for me, I love working. So, I just have to learn how to turn it off. But I'm working. I'm getting better. At it. So, but I think it's really the best thing you can do is try to set hours. So, setting hours like, hey, we're working 9 to 5 and 6, and after 6, stop. Get the food, get the cooking. I've been trying to do better. So in the mornings, I might be like, do some dishes. Keep enjoying it. It's like I have, yeah. So
I'm talking to her husband behind the camera, y'all.
And so, I'm trying to also see how I can enhance to be a better person. Obviously, I can't do it every single day, but I try. But I think just being actual friends, and then I've learned the more that you love your spouse, the more that they appreciate and they'll do the same to you. So it's like the more that you can try to like be selfless, which might not be easy at first, but the more you can do it, it really does pay off. Because like I know when the day I made the decision to be like, oh, let me not just make breakfast for myself. Let me, make an extra plate. Then he appreciates that. Then he's like, whenever he's thinking like the other day, then he was like, oh, she's been so kind to me. Let me help her put away some of this laundry.
I love it.
So I think it is a benefit whenever you try to be more selfless. Obviously, we get tired sometimes, but I've learned that like that also helps as well. Like just trying to like slow down sometimes and be like, oh, I'm doing this for myself. How can I also not just do this for myself, but also think about him whenever I'm doing
that? That is so good. Service, basically serving one another, which, like you said, is not easy, but the more you get in the habit of it, prayerfully your spouse reciprocates it, and you just start serving each other more and more. So that's beautiful. Wow. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the squad. Okay. I noticed more and more, and speaking of the double wars, I mean, you were intentional about sharing your platform with other women in the Christian hip hop industry. And I see you out here showing up to releases and interviews, supporting Child Like Cece and supporting Jackie Hill Perry. I mean, like, of course, Portia Love, like, y'all, we still waiting on the album, I'm just saying. I was going to say, are y'all going? Okay. So, but I mean, like, literally, like, you show up for so many other women in this space. Like, first of all, you don't have to, but it's evident that you are intentional about it. So where did that come from? Why is that so important to you?
Yeah, I think it's realizing like this is legitimately ministry. I think we're in our healthiest place when we remember that it's ministry. I think we get lost in the sauce whenever we start being like, oh, it's my platform, I can't be looking crazy, or oh, I can't be looking like, I think that's whenever we're not healthy. But I think if we remember like, oh, the whole point of this ministry school looks crazy. Like imagine the pastor being like, oh yeah, nah, his church is too big, so I can't associate. Oh no, your church ain't big enough, so I can't associate. That's crazy. So I feel
it happens. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and so I feel like though, like, I think that's why I support the women, and I just know what it's like to be solo.
Yeah.
So I think even if I don't know someone like that, I still try to just like intentionally show. I know some people might be skeptical and be like, "Oh, she's being so nice to me," but I try to just like intentionally show. But I think with the consistency as well, like people see like, "Oh man, she just really cares. That's kind of crazy." And so I think it's also just knowing. I know what it's like to be out here solo.
Yeah.
I would definitely appreciate it, like any of that. So I just try to, with the best of my ability, share it along so other people share my time with other people, show up for other people. But then, on top of that, just as Christians, I think like you can support your other fellow Christians, like show up, like that's the whole point anyway. Like all we're doing is ministry, sharing the gospel, all that. So like definitely pull up for them. And so with double word and stuff like that, I think I was inspired by Lecrae because I realized that he brought us out like 2019 when I first got signed. He was like, oh, like I'm going to does, and he was like, I'm not just gonna share it for myself. I'm gonna bring the other labelmates. And he had conversations. We didn't know we were doing jumping around.
Amen.
So I was like, if he can do that for his other, his people, and I realized that's a consistent trait that he's always done in his career. I was like, man, let me also take that wisdom with what I'm doing, and like, because he asked me, he's like, how did you do that? I thought, look at you.
I love it.
And then I was like, so that also inspired me to be like, nah, man, I can't just go up there. I have to like have a part for my sister, and they're like, oh, you sure? Like, it's gonna take some extra work to like figure out the mics. And I was like, figure it out. And so, and so it's really beautiful, like just being able to have that moment with Portia, and just even with all the other girls, and like, and even them just being so down as well, and not acting like, oh, like it's beneath me or something like that. I think that was beautiful as well. Like they were all just happy to be there, and we all got to like have some fun dancing. And they were down for the outfits and everything, and it just felt like almost like a bridal shower. Like backstage, like it was so fun. They were helping me like with my outfits, and like we just got to chat and have fun the whole time. So it was fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. So I think I recommend. It's more fun when you bring your friends, you have memories.
Yeah.
And then it's not just you, like y'all can all like reminisce memories. Like, oh, remember we went to Double Wars? So it's definitely way more fun in community. I feel like the devil can steal your joy sometimes and make you be like, no, it has to be like me. You'll have to see that I'm up here, like y'all ain't touching this. But it's like, nah, it's more fun if we're all together, because then they can do it next year. You can do it next year. We can just keep rotating this thing, and like it's way more fun. So
and that's even evident of your character for even Coming on Becoming Eva, because you know
Yes.
we're not well known out there yet. But yet you still made time and effort to come out here. So we are very thankful for you coming and spending time with us. This has been great.
Absolutely great. Okay, we're almost done. We're about to wrap it up. I do want to ask, and we talked a little bit about this beforehand, but I mean, and I'm sure a lot of artists just in general have this experience with CHH when they are performing in more traditional settings, and you know, people may or may not be responding or able to pick up everything. Like, how do you press through in environments like that where you're, and I what I loved at least about the Devil Wars performance is, and you can tell they were like, okay, we love what's happening here. We don't always get everything that's happening here, but we love it. I love how you were like, even with Yahweh, you were like speaking the lyrics, like, or speaking the verse or the hook, so that they could understand like what was being said, you know. And so like you really being intentional about breaking it down for the audience. But just talk a little bit about just being an artist in more traditional settings, like steps you take to really break through and connect with the masses.
Yeah, I think definitely in traditional settings, I try to be adamant about my outfits. I feel like this is not the time to prove a point.
That's true.
It's like,
That's true.
traditional can be modest.
That's true.
Even with that, I was like, no, I'm not playing around. Like,
Yeah.
I think so. That's like step one, because I feel like that can like mess things up. Like, I know, for instance, like Maverick City, I did a thing with them.
Yes.
And it was wardrobe malfunction, unfortunately.
Oh,
It
no.
wasn't even intentional. Like, I had leggings and everything. And they had switched my order, so I was gonna go last, and they like last, and they were like, "Oh, you're on first." And then I said, "Hey, go get someone to grab your clothes." And they grabbed my clothes, and I put them on, and I run out there.
Yeah.
And so people who were there said like it didn't look crazy, but the camera angle is like from below, and so it makes it look like my dress is like short or whatever.
Got it.
And so for like normal, like people are like, "Oh, like she's not crazy, I know her," or whatever. But for a traditional audience, right, it distracts to where like I'm rapping about Jesus, how he redeemed me, everything, but because of the dress, it's just like, oh no, the dress, nah, I can't. And so I would say traditional audience, step one, like I always try to keep it modest, and then two, I think just breaking things down for making it easier. But I think they might be like, I don't know what you're saying. I think I learned that a little bit because of Nigerian church. So my mom goes to Nigerian church, and so sometimes they're like, hey man, I don't know what you're saying, bro. like I tell them. So I think that encourages me as well to like see how I can break things down. Or even that's why I wanted to design the screens for the doves to be like, let me put some words. Bless, to help bridge it, because I think people do want to support, but it's like, I don't know what you're saying. It looks kind of like the world, and they're like, So trying to bridge those barriers, but also, also not compromise like who God made me to be. I feel like that's the journey as well. Like, let me not water it down for the sake of like making you feel better. But at the same time, let me honor like knowing that people come from different backgrounds.
Amen. I love that. All right. Well, last question for now. Any advice or words of wisdom that you would give to either women that aspire to be recording artists or are already in the industry and just trying to make their own way? Like, what advice or words of wisdom would you give?
Yeah, I would say one, just start. I think people want to support you, but they need something to support. So post the music, post the things, go on YouTube. YouTube can teach you tutorials on how to record, all that. Try to invest in equipment so you can save up for a computer, save up for a microphone, because that will change your life. You can keep that forever and keep making songs over and over. I would also say don't feel like you have to wait on someone to like make your move. I feel like that was something I felt like I had to do. I felt like, I have to do whatever the producer wants or whatever. Like, if I want to do a song, like if they want other people on the song, then it is what it is. Like, I can't afford no beats. Or like, I'm feeling like, this person's gonna be the opportunity that's gonna like, make big like big break. But realizing like, no, it's the Lord who can like, basically elevate your career or whatever breakthrough, whatever level He wants you to be at. So just realizing like the Lord has the final say. So for you, just be faithful, make the songs, actually drop them so people can actually support them and actually share them, and just continue to be consistent because you'll grow and develop more each day.
I have to ask, do you have any marketing, branding tips? I feel like you're on point with that.
Yeah.
So
the best marketing, I would say, like, with besides being consistent, you put hooks on your videos. So hooks are sentences you can put at the top. So try something relatable. If you're funny, jokes are great. People love sharing jokes. I think I would also say if you can do something related to an artist, that can help you grow faster as well. So like doing a cover of one of your favorite artist songs, even Christian artists, like doing a cover of them, because then I might see it, share it, vice versa for anybody else in the industry. They do an open verse challenge, do that. I know that's how I found Caleb Gordon. And now he's going crazy right now.
That's a good one.
So like different things like that also are really helpful. So definitely do different things like that, and they can definitely help.
I love it. I love it. Toya, you got anything else?
This has been amazing. Amazing.
So good.
So we have a segment on Becoming Eva called Noble Character, where we typically like our guests to recognize a woman that has inspired them, doing amazing things in the community. But this episode, we want to nominate you as a woman of noble character for the example that you have set for all to see, being a Christian in your household when, you know, that was not a popular thing in your household, and, you know, going hard after Christ and being authentic and original in the type of artist that you are.
Yes, and just being like a humble human being, like really being personable and approachable and having a heart for God, like a genuine heart for God, as you're blazing this trail in the industry. Like that is rare. So I'm just grateful. Just grateful to have you in the kingdom. Grateful to have you in CHH. And just grateful to just call you a sister in Christ.
Thank you.
Yes. So Anike, you are a woman of noble character.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, y'all, I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. So, as we mentioned, this is the finale of season 9. So we're gonna take a little break, y'all. We're gonna refresh in case you didn't remember or you forgot. This one right here got 4 kids, so she's gonna go get mommy, and, you know, handle life. You know, and I'm about to get some rest and decompress. So we're gonna see you, Lord willing, in 2025 to kick off season 10. But in the meanwhile, go back, check out previous episodes. You know, go online,
Get your merch.
Water bottles, mugs, the totes, the shirts, all that good stuff. You know, and
Custom merch too. Oh,
Yes. Get Anike the album, please.
Like
Any other way we can support you? How can we support you?
I got the album, so you can definitely get that. So Anike.net, I have like links to like my merch. So the merch, the album, and then coming soon, I'll be doing like consultation classes.
Ooh.
Other artists. So
Dope. So what, do they just follow you in order to get more information?
Yeah, so Anike.net, and then from Anike.net, it'll prompt you if you want to join my email list or text list. So
yes, y'all, that's some good stuff right there. Sign up for that. So you got a lot to do this holiday season as you are waiting on season 10. So, but yeah, y'all, it's been a pleasure. So season 9 is officially a wrap, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Becoming Eva Today. And we'll see you guys next season.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Click subscribe on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast. Check us out at becomingevatoday.com or email us at evamail@becomingevatoday.com. See you next time.